Oh, it says that it's live. Boy, I hit the button a little too early. Well, hey, listen, better always to be early than be late. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Yeah, just jamming out to a little Led Zeppelin because dancing days are here again, folks. I'm just here to tell you I'm living it, and I know many of you are. So there we go. I hope that you are dancing yourself because if you dance, you're on the right path. Exactly. Hello, everybody. Nothing missing, nothing be broken in your life. And I speak abundant favor over all of us. Big Al, I'm early. Yes. Cajun Queen Tara. Hey, listen, I'm going to have Lois on. Going to have Marsha as well. Marsha Price. So got these two fabulous ladies that will be coming on. So yeah, we got such a great group here. Just it really is. Yeah, we are out of the box thinkers here, and we can look at something that people will give not even a first thought to, and we can show indefinitely how it is profound beyond all comprehension. So, hello, all of the beautiful moderators and all the rest of you beautiful people. So good to see you. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I'm telling you, it's happening. It really is. It's great things are happening. And I hope that that is resonant in your life. I know amongst this soul tribe, there's many of us, that favor works every freaking time. Every freaking time. You know what? Since we were, how shall we say, unduly prevented from coming together on Monday. Shame. It really is. I mean, but hey, what do? You know what we do? We create a better future for all of us by speaking it forth. We really do. And so give me a second, folks. Let's just do this as a collective group. Let's speak this as though we're speaking it and physically laying hands on one another. It's a powerful thing when you lay hands, when someone lays hands on you. And if they have the gift of discernment, they have the gift of visions, the gift of healing, there is so much that can be imparted to another living life force by another life force just by the laying on of your hands. And so as I read this, just close your eyes and imagine someone laying hands on you and they are speaking this favor over you. That's how they used to do it. Yes, it is true. When a child was, particularly a male child, women have gotten, ever since this takeover of this dualistic, monotheistic, hard dick type of point of view the world has taken, we've gotten the shaft. Hey, you know what? That was a great metaphor. Didn't even mean to have that. But anyway, we really have. So get back to the point that as soon as a male child was born, if it was the firstborn, typically the firstborn received the majority of the blessing. And the father would literally lay hands on the child, probably before even the cord was cut, and would speak the blessing, speak destiny into that child. And I am sure in other cultures they did it for women, hopefully. Again, it is true. So let's get on. All these favors will come upon us and overtake us if we give voice to them each day. Favor will be with us in the city. Favor will be with us in the country. Favor will heal our body when we speak favor into our body. Favor will set apart our children, our animals, our ground as favored with abundance of joy. Favor will be on our food, our water, our pantry, our life force. Favor will walk with us when we come in and when we go out. Favor will cause our enemies to be at peace with us. Favor will be upon our barns and storehouses where we keep our valuables to prosper and be in safety. Favor will be upon us in everything we undertake. Everything we set our hands to, favor shall cause it to prosper. Favor shall be upon all of our material property and shall cause it to last longer and not break. Favor shall protect us, our offspring, and our possessions from calamity. Favor will lead us to good fortune in all things. Favor will cause us to come out on top and never beneath. Favor will cause us always to be above and not below. Favor will cause us to have favor with the elements. Favor will cause us to be favored with the spirit realm. Favor will cause us to be favorable to everyone we meet. They will see us with favor. Favor will seek us out. It will overtake us and it will abide with us. And no weapon of any kind shall harm us, nor will it prosper against us. And as we say, it will be created in our words, what was said has been done. Or as you could also say, so be it. Amen. That's what it's all about. So there we go. It works. Wasn't that fun yesterday with Trina and Julianne? Had a blast. So, and to think she's up at 4 a.m., folks. That's amazing. Anyway, so out of the box thinking, we've got to look at this. I have some good news here. Real quick, I want to show you how powerful this tribe is. Do you see who that little precious life? That's Raylan Cole. Remember when we spoke, meditated, sent this child healing? Well, I got an update from Susan, and I am happy to say there she is today. In fact, Susan told me in the email they had to take the lower, I believe, third lobe of her lung out. But what the doctors cannot get over is how she is rebounding. She is thriving. And in fact, that was the exact word Susan used. She is thriving. So all of you healers out there, way to go. I am happy to share that with you because, that's powerful, folks. I don't care what anyone says. It's powerful. It works. Healing works. And before they ever started putting chemicals into our bodies, calling them prescripts, isn't it odd? A prescript. That in the villages, even in the more metropolitan, cosmopolitan cities of the past, whether it was Rome, whether it was Greece, whether it was Egypt, Babylon, Samaria, the healers were there. The healers were the herbologists. They understood the herbs because our bodies are of the earth. There was a movie with Sean Connery called Medicine Man. How many of you remember that? Where he was down in the Amazonian forest and the deforestation was running rapid as it still is. And I just saw recently, digressing here a little bit, some pictures a decade later after the deforestation. Yeah, anyway. And in the movie, the protagonist that Sean Connery played was a doctor. And he was looking for exotic rare plants, and he could not find this particular plant. And it came down that he had to, number one, apologize and humbly submit himself to the medicine man, the shaman, because the shaman's magic was more powerful than the white man's magic. And the story ends that he found the cure for cancer, but we burned it down. Yeah. That's how it is, folks. I I am finding it becoming more of a focus that I think the illusion is that we really think there is this thing called Earth, this planet, that we're really somehow tied to this. Now, we're still into the lessons in the mystery school. We're going to be getting into how to get your secret name. But where magic is concerned, what is magic? If it's not your own faith in yourself, then your magic is probably in the belief of someone else's magic. Many people of the world, billions of them, have surrendered their magic and adapted the magic of the religion, be it Christianity, Islam, Hindu, Judaism, whatever it is, of the hundreds of thousands of other belief systems out there. They surrender their magic, and what they don't understand, and I'm speaking from personal experience, you immerse yourself into that magic. Hell, they got you drinking the freaking blood of this supposed dude. And you drink his blood, and that supposedly is allowing you now to have a covenant relationship with this extraterrestrial that you are told is God. And then you go further into the deepest, blackest magic, Christianity, Judaism, Islam. These four particularly, but specifically Christianity. Then you eat the flesh. Now, I don't know about you, but that's the darkest magic, the most horrendous spell I have ever been in. It's debilitating. It takes your life force away. When you start getting into blood covenants like this, and then you start evoking, calling down something called the Holy Spirit, only because they said it was holy. No evidence of it. And you tell me that somehow being called a witch, a wizard, a sorcerer is somehow damnation, damnable? No. I challenge anyone who's still into that practice. Tell me why. And tell me how that is not the blackest magic there is. You're into blood sacrificing. You're into actually vampirism, if you want to really take it that far, of drinking blood. A chalice. The substitute is wine, grape juice. It doesn't matter. It's what the intent is. I'm telling you what, folks, it's time we get our heads out of our ass. Because, before I get too far, David Barry would like everyone to send a picture to, I believe this is the Discord, the chat rooms we have in there. I was in there earlier. Send a picture of yourself. Come on, don't be shy. Can't get you to come on live, so send a picture. Now let's get back to the point. David Barry, I love you, man. You, Big Al, the rest of y'all are just leaders in this group. Brian, all the rest of y'all. Trina, so many of you. Nina the Mystic, all of y'all. Julie Payne. All right. Now, I know you may think that this is off the subject, but it's not. Two things. We know that there's something happened to Pluto. So, people have been speculating this is potentially the wave coming in. Who knows? But my point to this is, before we get into this, now these are all except for the one I'm about to show you, the one that's hanging behind my head on my, this is now, Lynn calls this the chamber. It's no longer my office. She says this thing is a chamber. So these are just, depictions. But the point is, folks, we get so freaking focused at everything as Earth. Well, you're going to be reincarnated back on Earth. Well, it's the Oberus. You're chasing your ass around and around. Well, you can't get it all done in one lifetime. What is the matter with us? Look at this. This is reality. Yet we are so delusional, thinking that somehow, and then the crappy religions tell you that God created Earth in 7 days. 6 days, excuse me, took the 7th one off, and that the whole universe is all about planet Earth. Bullshit. This is the core of the Milky Way, our galaxy. What you're seeing here is death and destruction. Unless you say the only life that exists is on Earth. I refuse to accept that. I refuse to be trapped here anymore. Now, they have gone further and had identified this as actually a picture. Forget which particular telescope that took this, but this is what they say is, after you get past all the dust, what you see. Now, what you see here is Sagittarius D, Sagittarius B, Sagittarius A. These are galaxies. No longer. They're part of us. Look at this. Now, folks, think for a minute. Life can not only exist on planet Earth, but they had solar systems. They had stars, planets. And I have no doubt life, abundant life forms, intelligent life forms above us. And when you take the supposed age of the Earth, 4.7 billion years, when you take that and you apply it to the cosmological age of the supposed universe, the Earth will only be here in the blink of an eye. The Earth is going to be destroyed. It is inevitable. It is written. Our star one day will go nova. And when it goes nova, every planet in the inner solar system is a goner. Now we're spinning. We're spinning fast. But the distances are incomprehensible to us. But I was meditating and this came to me. Where did those souls go? Their whole galaxy was destroyed. We get so hung up that it's all about Earth, arguing about magic. Well, no, it's not God. Well, of course it's all God. God is magic. How do you think he dazzled those people in his spaceship 3,500 years ago? And yes, there is something heading towards Earth. Whether you want to call it the galactic plane, the galactic wave, it's here. Go over to Ben Davidson's Suspicious Observers. He does a better job than I ever could. The point is, folks, we're in a very unstable, very dangerous universe. We have the false perception that this somehow is stable, only because we're living in the moment, and God forbid, should anything upset our precepts, our perceptions of reality. and especially our beliefs. It's vast. And if we're the only game in town, then this is a waste. A waste. But in this artist's depiction here, what you're seeing is death, destruction, new life. We have a cannibalistic galaxy. Our galaxy is heading for a show of shows here in about a little while, about 4 billion years, maybe a little sooner. We'll be around to see it, I'm sure. But the Milky Way is heading for a head-on collision with Andromeda. Andromeda is about the size as we are. It wouldn't surprise me that if Earth is still here, I doubt if our sun will be. By that time, things will begin to change. But my point is to all this, folks, is when we look at the subject of magic, we can't get hung up on all of these outdated belief systems. You know, I read an article recently here where the Christians believe this is the tribulation. Absolutely convinced. Now there's the largest exodus of religions taking place on the globe today. Again, to say that you believe in a deity that practices the blackest of magic, human sacrifice, animal sacrificing. I challenge anyone. Tell me that's not black magic. So we have got to begin to realize magic is as real is your very breath that you're taking. The fact that you have the energy within the breath is magic. Our science hasn't even discovered it yet. One day we will figure it out if we're still here. The rate we're going, it may be very well true that the sixth extinction is underway. And maybe the Mayans were right. Maybe we are in the grand circle. Maybe this is the accumulation of what we're seeing. Spaces, we still can't define it. B3, I said it was artist depiction, except for the one that you see behind me. I did say that. I want to make it very plain that I said that. And folks, something is going on. And they're not going to let us know until it's on the doorstep. I don't know what it is. All we do know is that every star system that's in the same path that our sun is on, every one of them has been affected. Something is going on. The stars are novaing. We're seeing dramatic heat ups of the space itself. You know, Star Trek Generations did the one about the ribbon. And not saying that this is that, but something took off 20% of Pluto's atmosphere. That's been recent, very recent. So we'll look for Uranus. We'll look for Neptune to see. If we begin to see dramatic changes within those planets, then we know that it's coming this way. So, and how convenient, you know. So this comes at the same time of the tribulation, of the great prophecy, of the revelation of John. And, you know, you got people going bat crap crazy out there. You tell me that this is not the time to learn magic? I mean, if you don't get control of your sphere and begin to believe in your own magic, all you're going to be is fodder for the slaughter. you're going to get run over. And I contend, folks, what are these spirits here? What are these demons? What are these angels? If you take the construct of heaven and hell, which is a made-up construct, but nevertheless, it's deeply seated. That's what 2,000 years of believing in a lie will do. So that's the whole freaking universe, a heaven or a hell. And no one can tell me what you do in either one. So the whole freaking galaxy is all about a demon here or an angel here named Michael or Gabriel or some asshole saying that he's Jehovah Yahweh and that he's the God. Or maybe it's, I don't know, Allah. Maybe it's Kali. Maybe it's Macaroni. Oh, excuse me, Marconi. Yeah, who? And are these just of Earth's origin? They know magic, if they exist at all. And so out of the whole freaking galaxy, nearly 150,000 light years across, 1 light year is 6 trillion miles, that we're the only game in town. That means that the whole precept, the whole concept of life itself, less than a couple million year olds, as far as our records go back. No. It's magic, folks. Many of the people that we see, we elect, are more into this than what you... Why does the United States government hire seers? Why are they hiring psychics? Why are they hiring witches? And by the way, I worked with the Federal Reserve. They do hire witches. They also hire seers. And they have a whole department that deals nothing but with astronomy. And when the sun starts acting up, the algorithms go into play. There is actual programs that when we see activity on the sun heading to Earth, that's going to affect the human psyche, and the markets know this. That is magic. Plain and simple. So if our own government is using magic against us, and they are, isn't it about time we get on board of developing our magic? And if we ever get strong enough, psychically, telepathically, as a core group, they're already watching us. We're actually an experiment to see how far this can go. I say let's take them to the mat. So having said that, let's love you, Gary Baxter. How you doing too, buddy? I haven't seen you in a while. I like that. You see, this is what I like about this group. We not only have moxie, man, we got tenacity. We got what they call the junkyard type syndrome. You know what a junkyard syndrome is? You give a junkyard dog a bone, and ain't no one getting that bone, not even God himself. That's what I'm talking about. So, thank you, David Barry. I am swinging away today. I am flat. Listen, by the way, I'll tell you who it is. Al actually got this one right. This is how it works, folks. And we're starting out very simple. You may think that this is just a very simple little thing I'm doing. This is training. You're in with the big boys now. Put on the big boy britches, and lace up the boots because, we're going to be walking through a lot of bullshit. But I'm going to tell you at the end of it, we're going to know some things. So Always remember, we are only using the Skylar cards. I do believe that's what they are called. Someone asked. Okay, let's get right with it. Magical name. Let's see what we got here, folks. Okay. Lesson 4 in the book. This will be lesson 5 for us, but yeah, I didn't put it in there. I'll put it in later. All right, your magical name. You've got to have a magical name. You know, isn't it interesting in the Solomon Magic that we learn the 72 names of God? Now, in the Hebraic tradition, it's very interesting because, for instance, Jehovah Jireh means the God, the Lord that healeth me. You have the El Shaddai, that is the multi-breasted one. You suck on his breast and receive the nourishment of life. And Jehovah Rapha, that is God will defend me. And you can go through all of these names, each one having a specific purpose. Now, according to Solomon's teachings, once you learn the name of an angel, of a demon, of God, because in the Kabbalah, it teaches that you can do your magic as long as you do it in the name of God. Isn't it interesting? So names mean everything. That's why the ambiguity of the United States, when we put it on our money, in God we trust. Hey, just because you capitalized a G don't mean a damn thing. Which God? And you know, I did the video on that anyway. So as a wizard, you will acquire several names at different phases of your life. Your first name is the one your parents gave you when you were born. If you were born into a magical family, it may even have been given to you in a special naming ceremony or a saning, baby blessing. Many in the Catholic tradition, I know my mother stuck me out, will have their babies christened. Christened is, do you have the water and then you have the blessing spoke over the child. And there's huge impacts about this, folks, on your life. All right, this is your birth name and the one by which your parents and close family will always know you. In all tribal societies and in all magical community, a second name is given at the first rite of passage from childhood into adolescence, traditionally on or between the 11th and 13th birthdays. In Judaism, this is known as a bar mitzvah or bar mitzvah. There are many variations of such rites, but they commonly include an ordeal or a challenge. It is, again, the greatest tragedy of the Western culture that we never initiate our children, our adolescents, into adulthood. And therefore, they go into adulthood never cutting off the adolescence. On the day a boy was 13 years old, the wizard, Origin, returned to the village, and a ceremony of passage was held. The witch took from the boy the name his mother had given him as a baby. Nameless and naked, he walked into the cold springs of the river, or where it rises among the rocks under the high cliffs. He crosses to the far bank, shuddering with cold, but walking slow and erect as he should through that icy living water. As he came to the bank, Origin, waiting, reached out his hand, clasping the boy's arm, whispered to him his true name. Thus was he given his name by one very wise in the use of powers. The Native Americans, they do the same thing. Your name. And if there's one thing, if you have never studied the Native Americans, you should. because in their naming, they always had magic in their names. We'll see that. The name you receive upon this rite of passage is your first magical name, or as it is sometimes called, your circle name. It is the name by which you will be known among other magical folk, but not among the mundanes. If it is given to you ritually by a mage, it may also be your soul name or true name. Usually around the same time, you will also acquire a use name, a nickname, by which you will be known to your friends. Later, as you go forward through life on a magical path, you will acquire other names among other circles of people. If you received initiation into various magical orders, circles, or traditions, you may be given a new name, a new circle name each time, to be used only among those people. Since most people in the magical community also move in the mundane world, going to school, having jobs, politicians, doctors, lawyers, judges, many have a common magical use name that serves them in both communities, such as a star, dragon, or wolf. The magical name chosen by members of the original Order of the Golden Dawn was often just their family motto. Today, most people don't have a family motto, much less, Today, however, most magical people pick a name that is deeply meaningful to them personally and to their spiritual direction. The search to find such a name can be time consuming, involving, and powerful to those who do it. Until you actually undergo a rite of passage or magical initiation, you cannot receive a true magical name from me or anyone else. Later on, I will offer you a quest to find a true name for yourself, because let me just say, many of us are what we call isolationists, self-practitioners. You don't necessarily need to belong to a group, although it could be said that this group here is becoming a magical group. Who would say I? This will be a deep journey of discovery into your own essential identity and destiny. It may take a while to fulfill, but right now, at this beginning of your apprenticeship, I recommend that you consider taking a magical use name with which you will personally identify and be known among your closest friends. The quest. Choose your magical use name. Many people in the magical community choose use names based upon things of nature. Especially popular are totems. That is, those animals with which they feel the closest kinship. For many years, 1979 through 94, my use name was Otter. In the bestiaries in 6.1 and 7.3 of this Gilmore, you will find lists of both natural and magical creatures and their attributes. If you feel a greater kinship with plants than with animals, you might wish to take a green name, such as a tree, a herb, or flower. There are also minerals, places, stories, and so on that you can draw from. This chart gives a few examples out of countless possibilities. Colors. You can also add a color to your name, like gray wolf, silver flame, or white oak. The colors of Magick for color attributions. I thought it was interesting. I think it was Julie Payne on the energy work and of how her patients, I guess that's what I would call them, Julianne, I don't know. I think that would be the appropriate one. It's better than customer, isn't it? But that they actually see colors. Trina can see that. I can see it's folks, we got to get into this. I can't wait to find someone here in the Denver area that does energy work, because Trina lives down in Phoenix, and right now, Trina, I don't know. I see Phoenix as Hades, The heat wise. That's all. Love you, Trina, dear. All right. Combining. Any of these names or others you may come up with can be combined into one name, like author Starhawk, or used as two or even three, like the late actor River Phoenix or author Silver Ravenwolf. You can get names like Snowcat, Seawolf, Star Dancer, or Skywise from ElfQuest. Use your imagination. I always love that name, like Star Dancer. I mean, doesn't that just invoke, and I got this jukebox that I carry in my head. I mean, folks, we're going to be dancing amongst the stars. Animals: badger, bear, buffalo, cougar, crow, dragon, eagle, fox, greyfawn, hawk, horse, moose. Got a moose, otter, phoenix, raven, robin, spider, tiger, wolf, plants, ash, aspen, branch, bud, cypress, fir, forest, herb. Yeah, all right. Leaf, oak, root, rowan, seed, thorn. I love these names. Minerals: amber, crystal, jade, jasper, rock, stone. Attributes: binder, bringer. Ooh, I like that one. Cutter, dancer, finder, flyer. Woo, yeah. Healer, lover, jumper, mender. That's a cool one. Runner, singer, walker, weaver, wise. Other names: dark, fire, flame, heart, light, lore, moon, ocean, rain, river, sea, snow, sky, spark, star, storm, sun, tempest, way. Wow. Numerology. Another consideration is your magical number. This is taken by adding up all the numbers in your birthday, including all 4 digits in the year, then adding them again until you get a final single-digit number. This is your birth number. Many magical folks believe that your name should have the same number. See Class 8, Magical Numbers and Forms. Quest your lucky number. Now, I have a number 9 and the number 29. When there was actually, back in the day when, I had to go to Vegas as often as I did, roulette was my game and 29 was my number. Anyway, naming ceremony. Now this is, since many of us are what we call self-practitioners, listen to this, because this is how outside of a group you can get your name. When you finally have chosen a magical name for yourself, you should write it in the following spell and in your magical journal. Then stand in front of a mirror, look yourself in the eye, and say, I name myself, ba 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 ba, ba ba, do I know, I am now, ba 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 ba, and what I say 3 times is so. By all the powers of land and sea, by all the might of moon and sun, as I do will, so mote it be. Seal the spell and be it done. We say that 3 times. I name myself, and I have my name. Do I know? I am now. What I say 3 times is so. By all the power of land and sea, by all the might of moon and sun, as I do will, so mote it be. Seal the spell and be it done. And what I say 3 times is so. By all the powers of land and sea, by all the might of the moon and sun, as I do will, so mote it be. Seal the spell and be it done. Now we just did a spell. Those of you who have your name, I put my name in there. I can think my name in there. And the mirror is the camera. See how that works? Cheers. Everyone get your libation. Hibiscus tea. It's for you and me. It is such good tea. All right. The school, so lesson 5, because we still got time to go. So let me see, but much of your life right now probably reserved. Now, this, remember, has a younger audience to it because it is designed and written to the younger generations. But, you know, then again, your age is merely your perception. Yeah, there's a chronological thing, but I'm telling you, folks, none of us grow old. We never do. We love being young, but we never grow old. And this one is again more, and I'm just going to pass over this. If you don't have the book, the PDF is available. So y'all understand is how we're going here. Let's see. Let's see what this says about regarding Harry Potter by Susan Morris, aka Chasmodai. I have read some very nasty fundamentalist articles calling the Harry Potter series a satanic threat. I heard that too. There are a lot of books written on it, claiming it was written to steal the souls of children or lure them away from mainstream religions. Yeah, you know why? Because those mainstream religions see them as a mark, you know? Why, they're going to be giving us money all the rest of their lives. Oh, they're going to be giving us free shit all the time. Well, if we let them actually know and start teaching them magic, well, they ain't going to give us anything. Yeah. To teach them that witches are good. Oh, MG. This usually includes a diatribe on the evil of witches. Yeah, remember, it was the Catholic Church, the Christian Church, the Protestant Church. How many witches did they burn? How many women did they sexually molest and torture? Here, have the blood of Christ. Have a good sip. And here, let me give you some of his flesh while you're at it. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm on a tear on this because, you know, it's time we wake up to this crap. So they are more likely to become witches. Such writers demonstrate their own ignorance and the bigotry, which says far more against them than against Harry Potter or witches. While the Harry Potter books are considered by most witches and wizards to be very positive and fun, they really don't present any religious concepts at all and should not be associated with the religion of Wicca or paganism. The stories do present some of the myths about witches and wizards in a positive way, but they still present the stereotypes instead of the truth. Most people know that real witches and wizards don't really fly on broomsticks, of course. But many witches are concerned that impressionable children might confuse the fantasy of Harry Potter with real magic and witchcraft, which is very true. Because, well, anyway, we'll continue. Of course, general values that true witches and wizards hold are presented. Harry Potter is a good kid who eventually wins out, but the Harry Potter stories should not be considered as anything more than a delightful works of fiction. Isn't that interesting? Being a magic kid in the public school, now that has to be cool. I got to tell you, I think about this. And if I had only been initiated early, could you imagine? Anyway, you can read this, but it does talk about children. Let's see, studies. The foundation of wizardry is rooted in knowledge of many things. And one of the most obvious characteristics of any wizard is an intense curiosity about almost everything. Being in school gives you a great opportunity to discover and explore some of these fields. History and the natural sciences are especially important, as are geography and literature also. And if you can find it offered, a course, world mythology will surely be one of your favorites. In fact, I can remember through junior high and into high school that there were 2 years I had to take mythology. Drama and performance, I was in the drama club. There are several places in the public schools where magic kids like you can find a perfect fit. Theater is definitely that or the band. The very best is the drama department. Long, long ago, clear back in the Stone Age, everything happened around the campfire. Making music and telling stories and acting them out around the fire eventually turned into both theater and ritual. And so the theater was always been the heart of magic. Try out for every school play. And it's so true. I mean, you think about it. Theater was where it allowed me to develop my imagination into a character. We did The Merchant of Venice. And yeah, anyway, if you don't get an acting part, join the stage crew. Get a lot of sex. That's what I know about that. Work on props, costume, makeup, sets, anything to become part of the theater. Did you ever notice when they roll the credits at the end of the movie, the list of actors is fairly short, but the list of all the rest of the crews and people it took to produce that movie goes on and on and on. It's true. There's a whole world there. It is full of magic. In fact, that's probably the place you will find most of the other magic kids also. Listen, they write those scripts, folks, in a way that they're prophetic. They have an impact. In this Gilmore, you'll be learning a bit of performance magic called conjuring, along with all the rest. You can put on your own little magic shows and create your own magical persona, your own character, and everyone will be delighted. You can even learn a string of jokes and do a stand-up comedy routine. My first apprentice and stepson, Zach, has made quite a career out of this. I also recommend very highly learning to juggle. Juggling is such an important wizardly skill that many old writings do not even distinguish between jugglers and magicians. In fact, the magician's card of the tarot is also called the juggler. Huh. There you go. Art. If you have any artistic abilities, take all the art classes you can. Learn drawings, painting, sculptures, wood carving, poetry, weaving, sewing, jewelry. I was in wood crafts. Enjoyed that. Wood shop. That's pretty cool. Until I took my thumbnail off on the drill press, but that's another story. Make your own sigils. Yeah, folks, you should have this book, amongst others. Anyway, amulets, pinnacles, wands, chalices. Big Al, you have wands, don't you? Right off the tree, that'd be one I'd be looking for. Chalices, robes, altar figures. Offer your artistic services for school posters, playbills. We got a lot of artists in this group. Drawings for the school paper. Artists are highly appreciated in the magical community, as well as in the theater. There is always a demand for magazine and book illustrations, jewelry, posters, t-shirts, figurines, and other things like that. In fact, being an artist, creating jewelry and sculptures of gods and goddesses is the main way I support my family. Music has always been a very important part of magic. Bardcraft was regarded as the foundation of all druidry and the power of the ancient singers. Bards, minstrels, could topple tyrannical kings. If you have any musical abilities whatsoever, which I regrettably, he says he doesn't, I do. Hell, man, I was in the band, learned multiple instruments, the bassoon of all things. Then, by all means, work to develop these. Learn to play a musical instrument, especially the guitar. I got one upstairs. Join the school band and sing in the chorus and choir. Learn traditional songs, especially ballads. Write your own poetry and set it to music so you can find lots of wonderful inspiration from currently available recordings. On the science and magic, being a wizard means that you will work with forces and effects that have not thus far been validated by mainstream science. That doesn't mean that you should automatically believe in anything that sounds cool and strange, nor does it mean that you should dismiss science as a limited view of narrow minds. Science is a very powerful systematic use of our minds to learn things. It is, however, and this is the part that is generally not taught or omitted in our schools, a limited set of tools. Science works very well for studying phenomena that lends themselves to experimentation. That is, the kinds of things where you can carefully control the condition under which the experiment happens and where you have access to all the information about what happens to the thing you are studying. But science doesn't work very well for studying complex, chaotic systems. Huh. You know, there's actually people who still believe the global warming is caused by man. Yeah. Anyway, chaotic systems are phenomena that are very rare and only appear under unusual conditions that can't be created in a laboratory. The history of science is filled with examples of real things like meteorites, ball lightning, continental drift, unicorns, or giant squids that were declared by the leaders of mainstream science not to exist because these leaders had never seen them and couldn't figure out an explanation on how they could exist. You know, science still says that we don't have a soul. Yeah, how about that, huh? Once evidence to explain these phenomena was discovered, they were finally admitted to be real by scientists who had denied their reality for years. Don't believe the science of today. Take it with a grain of salt. We're still learning. What we're learning is all of our models are wrong, but that's neither here. In the early 20th century, a mathematician by the name of Gödel actually proved that it is mathematically inevitable that the universe will contain things that are true but cannot be proven. Well, all right then. Wizards work with such forces and phenomena. So to be a critical thinker and to be interested in learning about how the world works and also keep an open mind about things that seem to be true, even though we don't understand how just yet. And we'll break off there. We'll get the personal altar tomorrow because this is a pretty cool project for, those of you who are carpenters, woodworkers. Here is a tremendous opportunity to actually build altars that people can actually buy. And we can actually make our own, but we'll get into that as well. Some people I'm reading in news. I have seen a couple of new names I haven't seen before. Well, I hope it's all good. So, all right, there we go. I love it. We've got to think outside the box. I mean, I cannot think that the 10,000 years of Homo sapiens that we have records of, we know we go back further than that, but I'm just saying the 10,000 years, that somehow or another, because of some unseen deity that made some prophecy that the end of the world is coming, I refuse to accept that. If that is a force, then that force can be matched. And the laws of physical nature say that I can oppose an equal force with the inertia that equals that force, and all I need is just a touch more inertia, and I overcome that force. We've lived 2,000 years in fear, bigotry, racism, murder, avarice, everything that has been used against us. We have been living in fear of this. Heaven, hell, the duality, the ultimate duality. No. I can't look out into the nighttime sky and see the core of the Milky Way and say that this is what the whole universe is predicated on. No. 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 I have said this and I'll say it again. No God has ever manifested to humanity. No God has ever manifested itself to the whole of humanity. No God. What does that tell you? It tells you how brilliant our imaginations are. And when you add that special elixir called faith, anything can happen. You can do a favor cleansing and invocation, and literally within 24 hours, everything changes. Nothing is the same. That's all I got to say. True. So there. Illuminati says, Illuminati, excuse me, the world is ending, i.e. the age of Pisces. You know, I don't know about that. I really don't. I know that astrologically what's going on, that we're going, you know, from Pisces into Aquarius, and I get that. But again, is that only Earth? Are you telling me that that applies for all the freaking universe, all the way on the other side, nearly beyond our fathom? Does astrology play the same role there? Do they have the same 12 signs? I don't think they do. Not anything against that. I'm not saying anything against the person who wrote that, because that is true. We are ending one age and going into another. But again, I try to put it into the construct. How does this apply to the universe as a whole? My practice of magic is not Earth. That's why I don't call on any of these demons. That's why I don't call on any of these angels. That's why I don't invoke any God's names. I'm above all that. And you should be too. If they want to come play with me, that's fine. But I don't strike deals. I don't do bargains. And I don't invoke entities that I don't have their resume. I don't have their DNA. As far as I know, they can exist in the multiverse and be some mean things. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Someone's talking about the book of Revelation. It's all a spell. That's all it is. There's no rational foundation to it. None. And if you do the study, you'll find out everything in the book of Revelation already happened. But that's for you to discover. Okay. Well, thank you. Michelle, that's very kind of you. We do have the best moderators in town. They're good, smart people. They're good people. They have good spirits. Their life energy is very bright. These are the soul. These are the light beings. That's why we're here. See, Deborah says, sometimes I think astrology and astronomy are more important because of the space in between the stars. That's a very good thought. The ether, the nothingness from which everything springs. Fantastic, Deborah. Yes. You know, it's the one thing Einstein just couldn't. I don't think that Einstein really didn't believe in the ether. He just couldn't contain it. I mean, that's why he never solved the equation of unifying, never got the unifying theory right. I mean, Einstein could be completely wrong. Not saying he's not, but you know, when you base all your science on that. So that's a very good question. I love that. Well, folks, far out stuff, isn't it? I'm telling you, I really went over, but this is exciting times. I hope you're writing in your manuals, and I hope you're reading and discovering, practicing your magic. Listen, many times I just simply sit in the circle and meditate. I don't call upon anyone. I am practicing a lot what Patrick Garrick and I, when we used to do Talking with the Planets, of reaching out. Some say, as I read earlier, and it's true, that the destruction of Mars brought a whole new set of spirit energy here to Earth. They had to flee. Now, I don't know, but I could imagine that there's probably a lot of energy left on Mars. And I'm talking of the paranormal kind, of the spirits, poltergeist, ghost. I mean, they say many times that when you pass over, you're not even realizing you're dead. But in many cases, I've read that people have reported that they actually were in the same reality. Well, that's going to be weird. But anyway, I've tried reaching out to them, and I'm just starting this, but reaching out to Mars. If there are life forces, spirit forces beyond Earth, we should be able to connect with them. And isn't that what every religion is doing already? Unless those spirits are here on Earth. I mean, if you're reaching out and you used to pray to God to answer your prayers in the lottery or whatever, where are you praying this to? Just asking. I never had a problem with demons now, bad, evil spirits, because the question, if I feel their presence, I want to know what you are. You can't be over me, but I can damn well interrogate you. Are you human or are you alien? Gone. Gone. Cowards. They are. Let's see. Go to David Barry, to Discord. Y'all should all be a part of that. And upload your pictures for everybody. David, you can use that one on me. I collected that award up in Boston, Massachusetts. Got still hanging on my wall. It was a very big deal, you know. The software that I invented won an award. So yeah, it was pretty good stuff. Well, thank you, Gilbert. Praying to the 7P. I love that. Folks, I do love y'all. Y'all are just, you're some groovy people. And hey, go out and enjoy the day. Continue to learn, practice your magic, believe in yourself, believe in your faith. I'm going to put the saying up there. If you will learn to doubt your doubts, you will never doubt your doubts again. Do you get that? If you never learn to doubt your doubts, you will never doubt your doubts again. Actually, it's just boomeranging yourself is what it is. There's a thing in psychology that so many of us had so many traumatic experiences growing up where people spoke negative to me, negative to you, that you would never amount to anything. You're worthless. And, you know, we know the routine. And what happens is that when you start making the transformation to become more positive centric inside, what your subconscious does is that there's these little what I call minefields. And many people will self-sabotage their own success. But once you learn to spot those things and you realize that, you can quickly put that to an end. All right, folks, I'll see you later. All right, I really went over. My apologies. All right, bye-bye. Oh, favor be to you too.